We're excited to be here. We're excited to be partnering with such a platform because we're talking about youths in business, right? And Providus Bank, as you all know, it's a growing bank. Okay, we're also in our growth phase, and we understand the need. We understand that at this point, okay, we understand the need to partner with people up and coming, okay? As a growing brand, when we come into the market, we've asked ourselves, what is the target niche? We're looking at, if I want to compete with the biggest name right now in the banking industry, I'm sure if I'm going to be talking about a Dangote, if I'm going to be talking about, PLCs, you will find out already that they are already overburdened with banking transactions, true or false, okay? And we're asking ourselves, where do you think we can pitch our tent? Where do you think there's trajectory for growth? And you tell yourselves, it's the up and coming, it's the SMEs, and it's the youth of the nation. So that is why I believe that as a bank, we found ourselves in the right space and in the right place. SME is the backbone of every economy. If there's no economy right now that can thrive without the SME for job creation, wealth creation. And we're saying, let's identify this set of people who I believe we're talking to right now. Let's work with them. Let's grow with them. For some of us, we have the ideas. Some of us think it's about finance, but not necessarily finance. What you just need is a partnership to help you move from level 1 to level 2. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Because sometimes people just think, oh, I need funding. But business is beyond funding. I think first and foremost it's about having the passion. It's understanding the terrain you're going into. And sometimes, even when you're in a business and you say you need funding, are you bankable? You think if you walk up to a bank, are you ready? If I throw money at you, are you sure the money is going to deliver on your dreams? So for us in Providus Bank, that is why we believe in holding hands together with these young entrepreneurs, working with them, training them and growing them and grooming them, to make themselves ready and worthwhile. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a whole total package. So yes, we are excited, to be part of this program. And believe you, at the end of the day, because when my colleague was talking, I heard him, he was talking about accessing funds, various ways to access funds. But you ask yourself, you need a bank that will work with you, that will partner with you, make yourself ready for you to be able to access funds. As a bank, we give out commercial funds, but even when you want to access a BOI fund, they still ask you to go through a commercial bank, So at the end of the day, you just need to partner with the right bank who is ready to listen to you. A bank that will create a product that is specific to your needs. We pride ourselves as the future forward bank. Okay, there's a reason why we call ourselves that. As a future forward bank, a young and growing brand, but the brand is growing. Because what we've done is just identify that niche and partner with that set of niche. And I think that is basically why we're here today. So, Dami, over to you.
I want to pitch on this quote that says, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go as a group, you go together. And that is why the line of communication today, I actually have the best panel right now, because for any startup here or any business here, virtually everybody you need to grow your business is on this stage right now. So we have the Nigerian Export Council, we have the Bank of Industry, and we have a commercial bank. So any funds that you are going to get from Mr. Obaro, Madam Maria and Madam Dami will route it to you, right? But yesterday, it was a very interesting session yesterday. And I'm going to re-echo a question or a conversation we had yesterday about businesses not being able to access funding from the institutions now. Can you please put to rest that idea? Because I kid you not, I agree that many founders or many startup businesses, they live on ESA. But now you will get confirmation from source on how you can actually access these funds and even on board to the MSSME programs that are there. So I want to make it a ladies first conversation this afternoon. Hope that's fine, sirs. So we start with the ladies and let them put to rest that negative ideology. Yes, I'll call it that. How can we access institutional funding through the commercial banks as a startup?
Okay, thank you very much. So yes, I believe that is a first. If you say funding is not accessible, the reason why we're here, actually, what is the job of a bank? We're here to make, if you look layman term, let me just define. I mean, we have a lot of graduates seated here in the house. What is banking for you? From surplus to deficit. Basically, the reason why I'm seated here today is because I need to move funds from where you have the excess, and move it to where you don't have enough. So the only way a bank will survive is if they have to give out funds. So trust me, funding is it's the major reason why you currently have a bank. So it is now there are various ways to access funds from the bank, okay? The funds are readily available. All we just need to do is say, at that point of your business, what kind of funding do you need? We need to identify your specific needs. We need to understand that when the funds are given to you, it will be used properly. It will be put in for what the business is meant to be. And that is why I talked about hand-holding. So as commercial banks, funding can come it can come as grants. It can come as a loan. It can come as equity. It doesn't matter. But what matters the most is identifying what the funds is going to be used for. And then you have a bank who is willing to partner with you for you to be able to have disbursement on that funds. Because a BOI will not readily give you give you loans directly. You need a commercial bank that will help monitor and ensure that the funds is actually going to be put to use for whatever purpose. So let me just clear that fast to you that today, part of the reason why we're here today is to ensure that the funds are actually disbursed to youths in business. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. So my question is to Mr. Samuel, sir. Sir, on the list, in your presentation, we could tell that basically the exports or the products that the commission is big on is agro exports. But in this room, we will probably have 1 or 2 farmers or 3 farmers. So it has not been so attractive thus far. And because of the export quota, for you to be able to say, I want to export my products, I need to hit a certain quota. What is the commission's plan, or what is the structure or program that Damilola Parkinson, young farmer walking the streets of Lagos, can tap into to get access to the exports commission?
Thank you very much. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council supports all sectors, both commodities, semi-manufactured products, processed products, and fully manufactured products. So we don't discriminate. But what we do is, in order to have more value when you export, we encourage more of value addition. Even if you are into commodities, we advise that you approach our brother here and our sister, collect some loans, get some machinery, process it, add more value, then you can dictate your price to the international market. Because currently the price of cocoa, the price of cashew nut, that's raw cashew nut, are determined from outside the country, and you don't have any power as such to to deal with that. But if you process it to cocoa butter, if you process it to cashew kernel, you can determine your own price, so you get a higher value. So as smallholders, you can come together as cooperative, maybe about 10 of you, and register. And when you register with Nigerian Small Council as a cooperative, you access all our grants and all our facilities. And then you can export and enjoy the economies of scale, of production, of processing, of export. And we also have common facility centers where you can process your commodity as a group and then you export. That common facility center is already certified as okay for processing of food items and some other items. So we want to have more of that this year and next year, so that cooperatives or individuals that does not have capacity to set up private companies can come together and use that facility to process their food or food items or whatsoever for export. For example, we have one in Shaki now, used for processing shea butter for export to the US market. The cooperatives within that environment in Oyo State uses the facility to process their shea butter and the export. So since that center is certified, it's built by Nigerian Export Promotion Council in collaboration with ITC, WTO, and is currently operational. So these are the kind of support we bring to MSMEs to enable them also function in the export terrain. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So clearly stated, it means that if you want to meet up on this export quota, the best route to go, or one of the best routes to go, is as a farmer or as a business owner, you form a cooperative so you can easily and readily access the fundings or the grants from the commission. So point duly taken. So to the Bank of Industry, I'm big on technology and I'm big on talent. So we don't have cocoa, shea butter, they're tangible products. And I've been in conversations where you hear tech people saying they have to outsource, go to private equity companies, go to VCs or angel investors to actually get funding for their businesses or for their ideas, especially for businesses at the ideation stage. But the Bank of Industry, I believe, is all-encompassing. And presently, the Nigerian system is losing so much talent to the outside world. What is the Bank of Industry doing to ensure that the talents that are still here are going to be harnessed, harvested, supported by all means, and I want to borrow one language, they will not japa.
Just as I said earlier, the Bank of Industry is the oldest, most profitable, most well-managed development financial institutions in Nigeria. We are 63 years old. So all the changes in the Nigerian system, the bank has survived all of them. Before independence, before republic, the civil war, all the coups and counter-coups, to the current democratic era. What has kept us going is strong management, strong risk management framework, corporate governance, and doing the right things always. Thank you. So what do we do as an institution? As I said earlier, we provide financial support to entrepreneurs, either nano, either micro, either small, or large. We prefer or place premium on value addition, because that is the only way we will not be exporting raw. When you export raw, it doesn't help the country. We've been exporting crude oil since 1956. What value are we getting from it? We can't even have a refinery is running. Refinery is value addition. When you process what God has given to you, for which you have internal capacity, comparative advantage, the international market price is higher. Like he said, when you export raw cocoa and you then import chocolate, the price of chocolate is 10 times more than the price of the raw cocoa beans you are exporting. So that is where we come in strategically. But in terms of technology, we also know that that is not our traditional turf. But we cannot ignore it. So the bank has also decided now to also play in that technology space. So we are currently working with fintech institutions, providing financial support for them to enable them play in the market space, because you cannot ignore technology. But even the funding we are doing to buy equipment is actually technology. We are saying that instead of promoting manual processing, automate your process. Whatever technology you require to play that role, the bank will fund it for you. Funding it not at commercial terms, but give you the money for a very long period, 5 years. Offering you interest rate of 10%, which is practically fixed because we don't increase our rates. And of course, also give you a moratorium period of between 6 to 12 months to enable you have capacity to repay the facility, and working with you to ensure the business grows. Our objective is very simple. We're a government institution driven and run like a private sector environment. We do not have a clear profit motive, even though we are very profitable. Last year, we did 52 billion profit. But our more focus is to create jobs for our people, create local content, create local capacity, develop our vast agro and solid mineral resources in Nigeria through value addition. That value addition means processing. You can't be consuming gari raw, cassava raw, cashew raw, cocoa raw, rubber raw, palm oil raw. No. Move the palm tree from palm oil to vegetable oil. Move the cocoa from cocoa beans to chocolate. This involves application of the latest technology, and that is where we are ready to support. So we cannot ignore technology. No process can take place without technology. The vehicle you drive is technology. The plane we fly is technology. So that window is what we are coming in, giving to you at a very convenient time so that you can repair the facility on a little by little basis without you feeling the impact. So my word to the youth here is that that idea you have, that business idea you have, please come and see us. Let us discuss it. Let's see how we can bring it from idea stage to reality. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So it's quite interesting, and I'm very happy that we have a large number of youth corpers in the hall today, because the strength of any nation is in the youth. So everyone sitting right here at the fulcrum of the Nigerian system. Now, we all have hopes, we have aspirations, we have ideas, we have dreams, and that is why we are sitting here, to understand that I have this idea and I cannot go it alone. I need a partner. I need a financial partner. I need an advisory. I need support, moral support, intellectual support. And that is why I'm going to ask Providus this question. Of all the banks in Nigeria, small joke, when you open your banking app, any banking app you use, and you try to do a transfer or a transaction to another bank, you've noticed that in the past year, the list of all the banks on the banking list has grown by probably times 20 or times 30. You understand? But of all these banks, there's one bank that has come out and said we're the forward-thinking bank. Why did you choose the SMEs? You could have done business with the institutions. You could have done business with already established companies. But why did you choose the small-scale businesses?
At Providus Bank, one of our core pillars, it says helping businesses prosper. And I'm sure your question is why? Why did we choose that as a core pillar? And it's like Mariam said earlier, as a nation, we have to really invest in what we have. And that soft sector is what we have, and that's where we flourish. Because this is just, Youth in Business Forum. And how many people are here because they have businesses? right? And I think for us at Providus Bank, it's about helping and investing in solutions. That's how we see businesses, that's how we see SMEs as solution providers. So as a bank, we are now here to say, how can we help you and support this solution that you want to provide to your country? So that is really why we chose SMEs. And one of the things that you mentioned in regards to advisory as a bank, and this is where I always say, Providus Bank, we just don't talk the talk. We actually do. We actually do. And for example, we've partnered with Enterprise Development Center for over about 2 years now. And what we do every year is we sponsor about 50 SMEs for free to one of the advisory courses. So that covers every single thing. Because one thing Mariam said is, as an SME, you come to a bank and you might think you want funding. But what you don't know is that maybe you need to actually look at your books or look at the legal side or your strategy, or even going back to a business proposal, because what we want to do is make sure that you are in a good position to be investment ready. A lot of businesses come looking for funding, but aren't ready.
So just to add to what Dami said, you were saying why is Providus interested, in SMEs? You find out that they are the most significant part of the economy when we look at job creation and wealth creation as we speak. But despite that, they are the least, they get the least attention from the big banks. The big banks are not willing to listen. And that is why we have decided to pitch our tent to say, we know the value. We're interested because we know that the next president is seated in here. We know that the next big name in manufacturing is actually seated in here. So that is why we say, why won't I partner with you right now? And we grow the brand together, so that the same way Providus is a growing brand, we believe that all we need to do is just pitch our tents and then we grow together. Thank you.
Before we wrap up this session, I'm going to give opportunity for 2 questions. And I want one male and one female, please. So any questions from the audience?
My name is Oyeyipo. I'm the founder of Kids Readers. We have a program. We run an EdTech platform for children in the early years. Now, for BOI, you said something about offering services for SMEs and all that. So I was wondering, how can we get to access those platforms? And Providus also made mention of the same thing about offering mentorships and supports to startups that might be interested in all of that. I was also wondering, how can we get access to that? Because several times I did go to BOI for inquiries on how to access some of these resources and all that. We were told to go virtually instead of coming one-on-one. So I want to know the sources or the platforms through which we can get this information, direct information, instead of having to go virtual to get this more of a one-on-one education.
My question is to the BOI person. I just want to find out if you finance companies that are not into tangible products. That's all.
Fantastic question.
Madam, we have 30 state offices in Nigeria. In Lagos, we have 2. Okay? In fact, I would say we have 3. Because I sit in Marina. My office is Marina. You can come and see me. If you go to Lekki, we're in Lekki office. There's a Lekki office in Lekki. Then we have the Keja office in Alausa that covers the mainland. Then we are scattered across the Federation. And we offer both visual and physical presence. I'm not too sure of when you have that contact. During the COVID era, there were a lot of restrictions on movement and people office not fully opened. But we're fully open now. So COVID is over, we're fully open now. But you can access us physically and visually. We'll give you the terms and the conditions for our borrowing. It's a checklist which can be shared with you. If I have an email address after the conversation, I can forward it to you quickly. So that we work together, to bring out that dream you have. We are here to support you. That is why the bank was established by the federal government of Nigeria. So it's your bank, it's my bank, it's our bank. Okay, and please, there's no restriction. As long as you are in Nigeria and have a business located in Nigeria, any part of the country, have access to free to support, get support from kind of industry. Then on tangible products, whether we support services, the answer is yes, because there are some services that are intangible but very valuable. So for instance, we support technical education. We support logistics that have direct impact to the manufacturing sector. We also support fintech, as I said earlier. So most of the POS operators, people involved in fintech transactions, which traditionally we're not doing, but we've also gone to that space to support it. Now, why are we doing that? If I support Coca-Cola or a water bottling company to produce water, so I buy you the machines, I buy you the generator for power, I buy you the transformer, I buy you all your packaging materials, the caps, the bottle, the wrap papers, etc. When you finish production, you're going to move them to a warehouse. Now, the warehouse can be as big as this hall. So there's a buyer from, let's assume your factory is in Obah, Ikeja, and you have a buyer from Ikorodu. Okay? Now, for that buyer in Ikorodu, you need to move those products from your factory in Ikeja to Ikorodu. How do you move them? You may need a forklift to help to evacuate them into a truck. So the forklift, we can fund it for you. You will need a truck that will move those items from Obah to Ikorodu, where the market or where the sale will actually take place. We also buy you that truck to move it there. So these are services, but they are related to the production process, without which the product will not get to the final buyer. And when it does not get the final buyer, you have stock, there's no revenue. When there's no revenue, there's no sales. When there's no sales, you can't repay back the facility. So it is our self-interest to support the entire value chain, from production to storage to logistics to the final end before the revenue comes. So we're looking at the entire cycle of the production process. Thank you.
Thank you very much.